the reigning defending UFC featherweight champion, joining us from beautiful Waianae in Hawaii. Max Holloway stopping by. Oh, we're back. We're back in the Paw Patrol room. I like this. Order has been restored.
We're back in my son's room, man.
I love it. Last time you were in this pristine hotel, it was beautiful. I felt like I was in paradise. But it's good to have you back in the Paw Patrol room. Now, Max, there's a lot to talk to you about here, but I have to ask this right off the bat. We know you have a history with Conor. We know that, somewhere down the line, you'd love to fight him. We know that you have not seen eye to eye, but I must give you props right off the bat because it seemed like you were supporting him throughout this, and even on the night gave him props, and the build-up gave him props. How were you able to separate the two, considering your personal history with him?
First of all, congrats to you guys, man. It wasn't only MMA and boxing coming together. It was the media side too, and I think so. You guys did a great job of killing it and covering it, and you guys are the man. And at the end of the day, it's just why be salty about something that happened. This is a business. It's a business, and Conor was given the opportunity to go and represent our sport in a different sport, and I think he did damn well. I think so. He did a great job, and it is what it is. No personal issues. The only time I'm not gonna like you is if you're standing against the ring for me. The cage. So you gotta give respect where respect is due. That's what you do. That's a real man, and I got no bitter history with him. It is what it is. We fought one time. Hopefully we get it back. But at the end of the day, I'm not gonna be a salty little crybaby kid over here being like, oh man, grunting my feet. If I had the opportunities that guy had, I would take full advantage of them. And I would hope I would get respected by my peers and motivated and supported by my peers. So it's cool, man. A lot of people hold grudges and they hold hate and. Where's the love? We need love and restore it back to this world.
Amen. Did he do better than you thought he would?
I actually he did exactly what I thought he would. I've been saying, man, us MMA guys, there's a bunch of us, a handful of us, or even more than a handful that can compete in boxing and kickboxing and whatever you want to do. You take us, we're mixed martial artists for a reason. We do all these things. We can go into a lot of other martial arts and do well and carry ourselves well, and I thought he did well. I thought he represented the sport well, and he did his thing. Came that night. A lot of people talking about this and that, and he giving away rounds and blah blah blah. You and I know Floyd didn't want to get hit that much times, and he did, So it is what it is.
Yeah, this idea that Floyd just let him hit him with these uppercuts and lefts, to me, is ridiculous. He doesn't like to get hit. He prides himself on not getting hit. Do you think that if Conor didn't get tired, he could have won the fight?
Only time can tell. We can sit here and go back and forth and banter back and forth of if he didn't get tired, if he did or whatever. At the end of the day, should have not got tired. Should have came in more better shape. But it happens. It just happens. A fight. And anything can happen. I told anybody, everybody asked me about the fight. Yeah, Floyd Mayweather was the greatest of all time in his sport. But I think so. Conor did his thing in there.
Okay. For you, does this inspire you to try your hand at boxing as well? Do you feel like, oh look, he could do it, I could do it? Do you want to try that?
Time tells. I got MMA fighters calling me out. I got boxing fighters calling me out now, so we see what happens. People keep talking about boxing and hands and this and that, and I'm pretty sure a lot of times in my fights, people tell me I have the best boxing in the UFC. So I would love to do it. We see what happens though. Time tells all, time shows all, and I'm just waiting. Anything can happen. A lot of things on the table, and we're just waiting.
Okay, so now this is the real reason why I wanted to have you on. In the build-up to the fight, on the conference call and even fight week and all that, Conor continues to refer to himself as the featherweight champion. In fact, in the ring on Saturday, he walked out with 2 UFC belts, alluding to the fact that he's both the lightweight and featherweight champion. Of course, he never lost the belt in a match. He was stripped of the title back in December. As the featherweight champion, as the man who just beat Jose Aldo, how do you react when you hear him say this, when you see him walking around with 2 belts?
Hey, I can't do nothing about it. You know, it's he was the champ once upon a time. He was the 2015 champ. They forgot to announce the year part. You know, they forgot. It's a little mix up, I think so. You know, it was a little mix up on their part, but I think so they're gonna figure it out soon enough that they was the champ. They was 2015. You can't take it away from them. You know, if Demetrius Johnson, you know, if he lost his fight, they lost his belt, and he wanted to walk out with 10 of his belts that he had, you gonna tell him he can't? Hey, that's his belt. He earned the damn thing. You know, he earned his belt, and you know, that's his belt. You know, but they forgot the clear cut 2015. You know, that belt is just a basic do not defend belt, I guess. You know, that's what you call it, and that's what he did. So I'm not gonna take away from him. You know, they keep talking about something that happened years ago, a fight that happened between me and him years ago, and you know, if you look at our records, our last 4 fights, you know, I'm 4-0, you know. I fought some great guys. I stopped some guys that people thought I could not stop, and I did what I did. You know, you look at his record, he's 2-2 in his last fights. Some people could say he's 1-3, you know. If I was in his shoes, I would hold on to every little bit of glory I could. So, you know, that's what he did. You know, Floyd Mayweather walks out with all his boxing belts when he fight, and that's just the way they live in, I guess.
Yeah, but as you know, he's calling himself right now the featherweight champion. He considers himself right now the featherweight champion, not the 2015 champion. So that doesn't bother you at all?
It doesn't bother me at all, man. Why should I let it bother me? You know, I got my belt. You know, next time I fight, they're gonna announce me as the undisputed UFC featherweight champion of the world, and I can't change his mind. You know, his fans, they're all there thinking so he is. You know, like. I'm here. I'm waiting. You know, if that's what he want to do, that's what he want to do. I can't change his mind. What am I gonna do? Bully him into a fight, or bully him into saying you can't say this? You know, it's freedom of speech in America. You can say whatever you want. So you know, shit. There's someone going around. There's maybe a fan going around saying that he's the UFC champion of the world right now, featherweight champion of the world. You know what I'm gonna do? Like go there and get into some hostile fight over Twitter over it. You know, it is. Everybody know who's the champion. I'm here.
But you know Conor has a lot of influence. Witness the fact that he got the UFC to make this fight against Floyd. Like he wields a very, very, very big stick. Are you at all worried that he comes back and they somehow figure out a way to call him the featherweight champion or have him defend that belt? Are you worried about that at all?
No, because that means he'd have to fight my ass. So if you want to ass whooping at 145, come on down, man. You know, everybody can get it. Like I told you before, I'm here. I want to fight everyone. You know, being a champion now, I get to hang out with champions inside the organizations. I get to be around other champions that's not even in our sport. And the mindsets is different, you know. It's hard to go out there and protect something that you earned, you know, I worked hard, you know, I got this belt, I earned it. And it's hard to find the motivation to be like, you know, I got to keep earning this and keep earning it and keep earning it. Well, it's super easy to do what Conor does, you know. He earns something, then he looks over the fence. He looks for something new, you know, and it's very easy to be motivated from something new, you know. If somebody told me you can go do boxing, it's going to be way more easier to get out of bed like, oh yeah, I get to try something new, you know, or if someone told you, oh, how about you do this and that, everything is it's much more easier getting motivated for something that's always new, you know, for the first try, let's do this, let's do that, you know, always spreading it around. But it's hard to get motivated for something that you got to keep earning and earning and earning over and over again, you know. So I just don't think he's that type of guy, you know. So does he come back down to featherweight? We see, you know. Do I go up there and fight him? We see, you know. There's between me and him, I just don't think that between us and the world, I think action speaks louder than words, and actions speak louder than words, and his actions say a lot about him.
So you don't think that he has any interest in going back down to 145 and fighting you?
No, not at all. You know, I think so. The interest more is that trilogy fight with Nate, you know, and the reason why I say, you know, I'm not saying Nate is the easier fight by any means. Nate is a motherfucker. Don't get me wrong, but at the end of the day, he fought Nate one time, he lost, and people still call him the champ. You know, I lost to this guy years ago, and people still call him the champ. They call me I'm the fake champ in our weight. You know, Nate is the man. You know, and that fight, and it already showed. You know, it already showed that he can lose to Nate, and he can still hold this championship level mindset to his peers and to his fans or whatever. Versus if he comes fight me, and he loses, then his fairy tale ends. It crumbles. You know, if he comes and fight me and he loses, then his fairy tale is done. You know, this champ, this whole mystic thing is done. It's over with. You know, and that's the type of guy that's the kind of type of person I think he is. You know, I don't think so. He wants to risk that, especially against a guy like me.
Now, where do things stand with you after the win against Aldo? You said you wanted to talk, you wanted to get a better deal, you wanted to get paid. You brought the head to Dana White, so to speak. Did you get paid? Did you get a better deal? Where do things stand?
You know, right now, the contract it's moving. You know, I think so. We're going in the right direction, and we're figuring out little stuff, little by little. But we see what happens. Yeah, I'm still waiting. I think so. It's moving in the right direction, and I think things is going good. I think so. We should have something done soon.
So you're happy with the way it's moving along?
Yeah, you know, we see what happens. You know, we see what happens. These things take time. You know, you're a business guy. I'm a business guy. We know this business thing take time. You know, especially with this whole thing in August, this big fight, and I think so. Now we're going to get back to the table, and we should figure out something very soon.
Did they try to get you to fight on that October 7th card?
We were seeing, you know, they reached out to us, but it made no sense. You know, I had this hand injury that I'm dealing with still today. You know, I still didn't get cleared. You know, a doctor kind of semi-cleared me, but told me to keep it open. We figured it out. So I got to go see. In a couple weeks, I got to go meet up with my hand doctor and see what he say.
Okay, so in a perfect world, when do you think you will fight?
Perfect world, you know. Hopefully, I don't know, man. I really wanted to get on that November 4th card. You know, MSG. That place is history, man. You know, being able to fight in there, there's a lot of history there, and that's what I wanted to do. You know, but we see what happens. You know, it's looking like the December card. You know, maybe Detroit, or maybe at the end of the year. The end of the year would be fun. I get to fight at the Night Island in front of my Hawaiians. You know. And finally bring a belt to if we can't get UFC Hawaii, you know, Las Vegas is the closest thing, and we can do a UFC Hawaii in Las Vegas, and people are going to lose their minds, I think.
Is it fair to say, at least as of right now, that Frankie Edgar is the next guy?
Yeah, you know, like, that's what I said. You know, you know the whole Frankie thing. Everybody's like, oh, fight Frankie, fight this. I wanted to fight Frankie last MSG card. I asked for him. You know, I didn't want to fight Pettis. I wanted to fight Frankie in the MSG card. But things happen for a reason. You know, we ended up didn't get in that fight. He ended up fighting someone else. You know, a year later, now he wants to fight me. So we see what happens. You know, only time can tell. And if he's the guy next up, he's the guy next up. You know, if he wants to be the guy, there's a little bit of history there. But it's up to the UFC, man. I'll fight whoever.
How is the hand now? Is it 100%?
It's all right. The last time I checked it, they still said it was like at 80%, 85, and you know, it's just my thumb. It's something that I used to. It's the gripping part that they're worried about. But he said it's coming along. He's moving along. That's how come I had a checkup a couple weeks ago, and he said let's give it a couple more weeks and then come back in and we go from there.
See, I feel like I put out this poll on Saturday about who the fans want to see Conor fight next, and I put Nate's name because I feel like he is right now the front runner. I put Paulie's name in boxing because they have a history, and I put your name as well because you're the featherweight champion. And some people wrote in, you know, the winner of Ferguson Lee. They wrote in Khabib, but I feel like there's a history there because not only did you fight so many years ago, what is it, 4 years now? He injured his leg in the fight, but you also had an injury as well in that fight, right? You weren't 100%. As well, correct?
Yeah. I you know, a lot of people keep saying, oh yeah, he beat you with a bum knee or whatever. The man got hurt at the ending of the second round with like a minute left, and the reason why we got hurt is because he took my ass down and we got tangled on the ground. His legs got tangled and went a certain way, and I heard him when we was fighting. I heard him go, ah! He screamed in the fight, and I was like, holy shit. And I asked him, "You okay?" And he's like, "Yeah, we just keep fighting." So it was cool. But I hurt my ankle in that fight very early in the fight. You know, like 30 seconds into the fight, I damn fucking kicked him in his damn knee, and then I kicked him in his elbow. And you know, my ankle's messed up due to the fact why I wasn't moving as much. You know, a lot of my fights, if you go watch, I move. You know, I didn't want to defend it. You know, I don't want to take away from the guy, but you know, the guy that, it's just funny to me that I'm the type of person, like, you know, I didn't want to say anything about it. You know, it's just, I don't want to take away from the guy's win, but the guy's over here, every damn time he's done fight or something comes out of an injury or this and that, or he's sick, you know. The thing came out before this fight, that the first Nate fight, he was sick before the fight and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what the fuck, man? How much fucking excuses are you gonna say? You know, it's just fucking, just let the fight be. Just don't say shit. You know, that's what I believe in. And you know, things ain't going my way. That wasn't my night. And if we're running back, I think so. It'd be a way different fight. You know, like I said before, we fought years ago. We fought years ago. And the way that he talks about a fight and the way he talks about our fight, and correct me if I'm wrong, Ariel, is the way a retired man talks. A retired man talks about, oh, I beat that guy that time, this time, whatever. A true champion, you know, I like guys like Kobe, you know, like the Mamba, you know. He's the man. You know why? His mindset was, if I beat you one time, and if there's people around saying that you could beat me, I'll play you 100 motherfucking times. I'm gonna fucking take everything you ever own and fucking show the world that I'm the baddest motherfucker here, you know. And that's the kind of mentality I have, you know. If this guy, you know, this guy's talking about, this guy over here is talking about something that happened years ago. That's what a retired man talks about. I don't talk about my old fights, you know. If anybody that lost to me wants to, guess what? Come with open hands, you know. You know the Swanson thing. Swanson said, I want to fight you. Swanson, I told Swanson, I opened him with an open hand. Swanson, if you want to get this work again, I'm open to it. Go sell yourself to the UFC. You know, if you want your ass whooped fucking 99 more times, come see me. It's easy, you know, it's easy. You want to prove you're the best, I'll keep proving I'm the best. I'll fight anybody and everybody. Even if I fought you 1 time, 2 times, 10 times, 20 times, we can fight 30 times. If people are going to tune in, they will watch the fight, they will watch you get your ass whooped for 30 more times, 29 more times, whatever it is. You know, that's the kind of mindset I like, and that's the kind of championship mindset I have, you know?
Does a part of you wish that a lot of people forget you took that fight on short notice. You took it on a month's notice because Andy Ogle was originally supposed to fight him in Boston, and then they tapped you, this youngster, to fight him in Boston. Does a part of you wish you never took that fight on short notice, because now it would be a fresh matchup and you would have more, you know, more on your side in terms of convincing them to make the fight? No,
not at all. Everything happened for a reason. You know, I'm not that guy. I wish it didn't happen. That's poor sport. You're a poor loser. Everything happened for a reason. You know, all my fights, they all happen for a reason. The wins, the losses, the ups and downs. It's not even losses. It's learning. You know, I learned a lot from that fight. I learned a lot about myself, and it is what it is. A lot of my fights, Ariel, in the UFC, I just passed short notice fights. I had a point in time in my UFC career to recently, I took like maybe 3 or 4 fights ago, that I had more short notice fights than actual booked fights with the UFC. So it was just another fight. It's just another bump in the road, and I think so. I needed it, and that's what molded me into this fighter you are today. You know, things happen, you know, at certain times and certain places, and I had to be at that certain time, that certain place. I had to learn, and now I'm here. You know, I'm the UFC featherweight champion of the world. You know, I would never ever take that back.
I truly, sincerely appreciate the way you're able to separate your history with him and what he accomplished on Saturday, because, and I want to get your take on this, you know, after you beat Jose Aldo, you put out a really nice thing on Instagram giving him all the props in the world. After Conor's fight on Saturday, Aldo went to Twitter and mocked him. RDA went to Twitter and mocked him. And last I checked, RDA got injured. It wasn't Conor who ran away from that fight. It was RDA who got injured. What do you make of some of these guys who have a history with him, who are looking to mock him for doing what many could never even dream of doing? And I know the money helps, but to go out there and potentially risk injury and embarrassment, that takes something, right?
That takes a lot, you know. Like you said it perfect. You said it perfect. You know, everybody keeps saying that you know, oh, it's easy to go for money or whatever. But he could have went out there, got knocked out in the first round, and everything would have went to shit, and be like, what the fuck, you know, and whatever. So, you know, fair play to him, fair play to the guy. And I always said that I I'm a competitor, and I respect our competition. I respect everything. You know, my take on that is just, you know, it's sad to say, but it's sad to watch. You know, why you gotta hate on a man's success, and why you gotta try and hate on a man when they're down too? You know, a man just lost. He went to a different sport. It is what it is. You know, move on. Because I'm pretty damn sure if he had it, if those two guys had the opportunity to do what Conor did, they'll take it. You know, you can't sit there and say, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. That guy just made millions of dollars in a fight. And for you to say you wouldn't do that, get the fuck out of here. You know? And there's no reason to knock the guy. You know, the guy went in there. I think so. He went out there not only for himself, but went to represent our sport to show that mixed martial arts is the greatest sports. We're fighters, you know. We're true fighters. We're real fighters. And I think so. He went out there to prove that, you know. And I think he did a good job. And my take on that too, things mocking is, it's sad, man. It is what it is. But you know, people is growing up different. People is taught different. You know, I'm grateful. Like I said, I go back to my grandmother, my papa, and stuff. Like, no matter, even Hawaiians, you know, no matter how bad someone treated you, it's always treat others the way you want to be treated. And that's what I do. You know, respect. You know, there's a business side to this thing, and then there's actually being a human being side to this thing. And some people forget that.
Respect to you, Max. Last thing for you. You were just in Asia doing some promotional stuff for the UFC. What was that experience like? And did you sense after the Aldo fight that your popularity has grown? What kind of feedback were you getting from the people there?
Oh man, I got a bunch of good feedback. My thing did, my celebrity level, whatever, went huge. You know, we had guys. We was at Japan. We had to do a meet and greet at Japan. Or actually, like they tweeted out and they say be here and go give some free gear. And we went to the wrong side of the thing, and people was just like normal people who wasn't even like on Twitter or whatever. They just like walked past me. It's like champion. I was like, yeah, chat, what's up? And then they took a picture of me. They wasn't even there for that, you know.
Wow.
So that was cool. That was huge. And then China was super cool, man. We did this thing that you streamed online. It was just a questionnaire. And 1 million people tuned in live.
Wow.
In China. I was like, oh, how much people tuned in? And then I was like, 1 million. Like they said it so nonchalant. I was like, what the fuck? It's a fucking 1 million people. That's a lot of people, you know. So it was super huge. I felt the love. And the tour was great, man. I tell you right now, everybody but the Anderson Silva card, whoever's getting on that card, that China card, they're tapping into a new market, man. And, you know, like I go back to Kobe, you know, Kobe's over there tapping into that market too right now. They know something that we don't know. And all you guys trying to get you guys fan cloud up, you know, head on over to China. There's a bunch of people there. There's a lot of people. And they're thirsty for any type of sports there. So it's super cool, man. And I liked it. I liked the whole tour. Did you see my Luigi? My brother
yes,
dressed up as Luigi.
I saw that.
We killed it on top of that damn Rainbow Road. But it was good fun, man. I loved Asia. We got to go to Hong Kong, and it was just fun overall. You know, the fan experience, like you said, the fans and stuff, and the Japanese fan and stuff. And one thing I took away from that whole experience was sumo wrestlers fool the shit out of you. They are so athletic and flexible. I did not know. I had no idea how these guys was more flexible than me. I was like, what the? I'm not the most flexible guy, but you know, you see this like 300-pound dude. You're like, you're not that flexible. This guy's doing the splits.
Wow.
Balancing on one leg with their leg like up here. I'm like, what are they doing? I was like, yeah, they're super flexible, bro.
Did you do sumo?
I was tripping.
Did you do sumo?
I didn't do it. They didn't let me do it. The UFC guys, I was asking, like, come on, let me try, but. It might have been a good thing. I don't know. They hit heads pretty hard, like two billy goats, you know. And I was like, "What the? Like, how the hell is people not getting knocked out?" It was amazing, but the experience was cool, and I'm blessed to be there.
Well, I'm happy you got that reception. It's well deserved. You handle yourself like a champ in and out of the cage, and that was once again on display on Saturday. Your take on the fight I thought was on point and unbiased, and I appreciate that greatly. So kudos to you, Max, and I hope that you get that contract that you're looking for, and I hope you get paid as you deserve. Hopefully they'll make it right for you sooner rather than later, and we can see you back in there soon. Get well soon with the hand. I know it's trending towards the right direction, but get well soon and hope to see you back in there soon, my man. Mahalo.
Thank you, boss.
Major.
Later, mahalo.
Easy. There he is. Max Holloway stopping by from the Paw Patrol room in his home. Great to hear from the featherweight champion of the UFC, and I still believe that fight against Conor is a is a moneymaker and one that they can promote, and there's a history there. And in some respects, it is a super fight. You know, it's featherweight versus a lightweight, but with the history, see how much they have both grown and improved since that first fight back in 2013. I would be very, very, very interested in seeing that one.